like to welcome everybody here. This is Centerville Community School Districts, and we are having a regular board meeting, and this should be a relatively short one tonight. Start with our mission statement that all students will learn well, become lifelong learners, and contribute positively to society. It's May 28, 2024, 5:30 p.m. in Centerville Admin offices. This is a regular board meeting. I'd like to call to order with a roll call, please.
Berger, absent. Carter.
Here.
Heffron. Here. Johnson.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Thomas.
Here.
Wiskins.
Here. I'd like to welcome visitors. We do have visitors, and we do have some tonight. Per board policy or practice, I'm going to go ahead and read the guidelines for public comment. We'd like to remind all speakers that while this is an open forum for any issues, praise, or concern, the board doesn't expect all speakers to maintain a civil tone and refrain from using profanity and raising their voices or making statements that are threatening or harassing towards others. Any speaker who creates a disruption may be asked to leave the meeting. We also want to remind all speakers that any comments made during the public comments are done so at the risk of the person making the comment. The district will not be responsible for defamatory or potentially defamatory statements which may be made about a particular person. The board's policy not to engage or respond to speakers during the public comment session, regardless of the topic or concern. If the board wishes to further address an item or concern raised in public comment, will do so by establishing an agenda item at a future board meeting or delegating the responsibility to the administration to address an issue. We do have two people that would like to speak tonight, and who wants to go first? They come up here to the front and center of the table here.
Danielle Craftfield. Corey and myself, my son, would like to talk to you about the high school weight room. The weight room's great. The weights, on the other hand, are not. He's an adamant lifter. The dumbbells that we use, or our kids use, are not real safe. I have pictures if you'd like to see them, where some of the weights, when you pick them up, they're loose on the ends. He either has to go around on the one set and tighten them with Allen wrenches to make sure the one weights are safe before kids use them. They're just hand wrote on with a marker on what size they are. On the one set, the other set, half of them are missing, or I'd say a quarter of them are missing because where they've been dropped from the previous weight room. Some of the weight equipment is missing bolts, or the bolts are stripped. I wouldn't say it's completely 100% unsafe for them to continue to use, but it's not great shape. We were just there over the weekend to help move stuff. So I looked at where my husband and I looked at it firsthand. I just want to, Corey wants to be able to bring his younger siblings up to the weight room and be like, hey, this is what you're gonna, be able to use someday. And right now it's just not at that. Something he wouldn't want to have his younger brother in there to look at right now, because it's just not in good condition, some of it. We just want forward to this thing.
Okay, thank you. I just want to clarify, I know we don't comment on this, but is there an issue besides safety, or is just safety the issue?
Well, I would say safety and the
I mean, that's the
condition,
main concern, right?
and the condition of it.
Yeah. Okay. Is the condition a condition of safety, or just that it's old?
It is very old.
Okay. All right, thanks, sir. I just think we need to clarify that, so. Okay, come on, Corey.
I'm Corey Craftfield, their son. I just feel like right now, like, people in the weight room are like going down, they're dropping out, they're not taking it anymore. It's not very safe, and I think if we got the new weight room, people would like be more opt to take this class and use the time effectively. And I think it would help our programs throughout everything, all sports. and I can name off multiple people that they'll be lifting, they'll set the weight down and the weight's falling off completely. And it just, I think if we were to get the new like equipment, like the younger kids, you can like take them up there and they'll be proud to like work and see what they have coming for them. And that's about all I have.
All right, thank you, Corey. Thank you, Dan. Again, our policy is not to comment, I just wanted the clarification, but obviously we'll have some follow-up conversations with Mr. Taylor, so. We need to approve the agenda for tonight. Need a motion and a second.
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The agenda is approved. There is no old business. Yeah. Going on to new business, so we have the CEA contract, master contract agreement to approve. The CEA has approved from their membership, and it was, whatever, a week or so ago that we were in here, and as a board, we negotiated with them, so whatever comments you want to
I
make.
would just like to say it was a really good, smooth process. I mean, I think everybody in the room knows that the way that some of the laws came out this year, some with the minimums, it really didn't give a lot of support to districts and local associations to come out of negotiations this year in a positive way, and it's really been negative for a lot of other places. But I really felt the teachers came with a real positive approach with us, and we came to a pretty good conclusion to take care of everybody in an equitable manner. And we've got a plan to open our conversation earlier next year and really look at what we can do with the little bit of money that the legislature, thank you for coming, by the way.
Thank you.
The little bit of money that the legislature has given to be able to make it fair for everybody moving forward. But it was a really excellent conversation with them, and I think what we came out of seems like it was received pretty well by the staff that helped ratify it.
Hey, does anybody have any questions on the contract as presented in your board packets?
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the CEA Centerville Community School District Master Contract Agreement. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And we do have a contract. Thank you very much. So with that, routinely, or what we have historically done is whatever percent increase the CEA settled at and the board settled at, we match that as a salary increase for everybody else. So administrators, directors, salary positions. And I think there's a little change this year
Yeah,
to the support
so
staff though.
for administrators, directors, and salary, we'd like to use that same percentage that we did with CEA, but we're asking for the board. I know there's been a real push from this board to work on salary for non-certified folks, our associates, our drivers, our cooks, our custodians, and we'd like to actually increase the base salary by $1, which will increase each of those people's salaries by $1 for next year. And we've done the math, and we can afford to do that. It works into our budgeting that we've got planned out, and we think this is a chance for us to be able to make a really nice dent in catching up to the area and actually putting us ahead of a number in some areas, but really doing a lot for our support staff.
That was $1
Per hour, sorry.
per hour, excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did, so there were some questions that I feel I should give. They had talked about, the legislature said we're giving, what was it, $17 million to support staff salary increases. That equals about $100 per support staff member as a one-time payment. So that's really a non-factor for us in this. This is based on our ongoing budgeting, not on that one-time funding from the state, because that was a pittance.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the 2024-25 salary increase for administrators, director salary, and support staff. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Approved.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's really good to kind of help. We've struggled with getting things for the support staff in recent years, so thank you for that. Item C, approve the increase for substitute pay rate.
So we are proposing an increase to $140 a day rather than $120 a day for our substitute rate. This puts us ahead of some of the schools in the driving area, driving distance, behind one, I think it was. We found one school that would be ahead of us. So it makes us a lot more competitive with those that you can drive to and sub at. And hopefully we'll continue to drive more people that want to come sub for us.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion second to approve the substitute pay rate. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. All right, now the board resolution to transfer funds for athletic equipment. If you see the board packet, there's 2 invoices for helmets, for football helmets. I guess I didn't know there's a huge difference in the cost of an adult versus a youth, and air versus non-air, but there is. So the reason for the transfers, there's not enough money in the activities fund.
Right, and this is a pretty typical reason to transfer to your activities fund from your general fund to support specifically the purchase of football helmets or reconditioning in some cases of football helmets. It's a pretty pricey item for that program to be able to afford. So I did talk to a number of other conference superintendents who do a pretty similar amount. Some a little bit more, some a little less, probably based on participation, I would guess. And this is just to keep those helmets in good shape. Again, kind of a safety issue, making sure that we are, making sure we've got decent helmets for our kids. This doesn't include, but I think it could be something that comes up on the horizon. I'm hearing just some inklings that some schools are starting to get the practice caps for football helmets, and I can't remember the name of that now.
Guardian caps.
Yeah, and the NFL is allowing them this year for their players, even during games, I guess. And this could be something coming down the road for us. It's supposed to prevent CTE and concussions. It's not a common practice in high school yet, but I just want this to be on your radar, because it may be that we can prove this here to have helmets that make sense. And a year from now, we may need to come back and say, folks, I think we should look at this, because a lot of people are going to listen for not just liability, but safety of kids. We just need to be ready just in case.
What is that? What?
Is it Guardian Cap?
Guardian.
You said, right? Guardian Cap. And it doesn't sound like we need it yet. And what I read, the little bit of documentation you can find online about this, the speed of high school football doesn't cause as much damage. But as you start to hear more and more schools come on with it, I think the pressure will be there to get it everywhere.
It's a big foam shell that goes over the helmet for
Yeah.
practice.
Okay.
I think that's what you're looking
That's,
at.
oh, sorry.
That's all right. More goes, great.
So this doesn't include that, but I think it's something we should consider
To
being
that,
ready for someday.
there is a shelf life on our football helmets.
Mhm.
So every so many years we do have to purchase new.
Yeah,
I think that's something to,
and in this
that'd
case,
be the plan.
I believe that, yeah, that is the case on this one. So this is not a recondition, this is a new purchase. And then you're able to recondition for so long before they expire.
Yeah, I think he's splitting it up into
Something
different years.
every year,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it ever a point that a school just gets rid of football because it's just too expensive to do?
Well, I hope not, because I really think it's a draw. You think about some of the districts
I'm
that
not
we.
saying we should get rid of it.
Right,
I'm saying,
no.
Is it sometimes?
You think about some of the districts that we compete with for open enrollment, we have true football versus the 8-man game, which I think is a draw for some people to maybe want to be here. I couldn't quantify that, I couldn't say we've got 20 more kids because we do this, but I really think there's something to be said for that. Now, I do believe we have to continue to watch safety, and as we learn more about CTE, that's definitely something to watch, but I'm a big football fan. I really like football Friday night and going out there and cheering on the Big Reds. So I'm kind of a sucker that way, I guess. But I haven't heard of that, and I hope it never gets to that. I hope our legislature doesn't starve schools so long that ends up being the case places.
One of the things, I guess, over the years since I've been on the board, when we do the activities report, hunting, things like that. Football pays for every other activity,
Yeah,
so.
it's true for most.
It's the biggest draw, yeah.
Yeah. And it really makes for a pretty fun event. I mean, our football Friday nights here are pretty
But
spectacular.
if you look at community events throughout the entire year in the community, other than Pancake Day, football is gonna be where more people will go to in any single event. So it is really a culturally important to most communities, so.
You know, we'd always tell our kids in the band, you know, when you're there with, for marching band playing the halftime show, that's probably the biggest crowd you're gonna play for too.
Yeah.
So that's a real big deal for that program. Kind of raises all shifts a little bit there.
And it is very nice that the band allows the football team to use their field. Had to throw that for all the bandies out there, all right.
Thanks.
So, we need a motion second, or did we approve this? I kind of got lost in the conversation.
Motion to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the transfer for the athletic equipment for the purchase of the helmets. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And the motion passes, so I lost track. It was a good conversation, just lost track, so. Item E, approve personnel business procedures, a lot of year-end stuff, plus a few extras on your table. Questions, comments, or a motion?
How did you snag Bill Huseman back in?
Asking, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe it was begging. I'd have to
Well, either
check
way.
on that.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving business personnel procedures, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Same sign. And with that, we complete our agenda for our regular but unscheduled meeting. We thought we were gonna have
So change orders.
change orders, but we didn't have any, so we're still working on that.
June 10th.
But with that, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Thank you all for your
Thank you.
participation.